Good evening, sports fans. We've got scores from 5 NBA games on tap, plus an update from Game 4 of the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals.
And the numbers are in. We take a look at the MVP frontrunners in the UAAP men's and women's volleyball tournament ahead of the start of the second round tomorrow.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Calao.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Ramiro, the show by Mamoy leaves, puts it on. Unbelievable. Gemma on the left side. Oh, the pass! Stuffing another one. Bakunas rejecting Estevo for the
The Milwaukee Bucks taking full advantage of the heavily undermanned lineup of the Los Angeles Lakers. Final score 118-89 in favor of the Bucks as the Lake Show played without 4 of their starters. Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves joined LeBron James and Rui Hachimura on the injured list. Key bench players Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt were also sidelined because of their respective injuries. Giannis Antetokounmpo simply had his way, scoring 28 points in just 29 minutes of action. Gary Trent Jr. and former Laker Kyle Kuzma combined for 43 markers. Rookies Dalton Knecht and Bronny James tried to tow the Lakers with 17 points apiece in a losing cause. Milwaukee improves to 39 wins and 30 losses, good for number 5 in the East, while LA slides back to 4th in the West with a 43-26 win-loss slate. Here's Bucks head coach Doc Rivers talking about Giannis being Giannis and aggressive and playing a team without 4 starters.
Yeah, just attack and make plays. That's what we want him to do every night. We want to put the ball in his hands. We didn't want him to play in the 4th, so we just figured let's play him the 3rd and get it over with.
So you walk into the building, you're getting ready to play one of the top teams in the league, and then you find out they're missing their top 4 players. Yeah. What are you thinking, man?
Good. I mean, I don't really care, honestly. We're on a road trip, and we're trying to win games. We felt like we blew one in Golden State, so we really, honestly, your only concern is that your guys just keep their focus. Obviously with those guys out, we're supposed to win the game, and we won the game. But that, I don't think much of it. It happens, because of the Flyers. They've had a brutal schedule, and so they had to rest guys somewhere. And picking an East Coast team is smarter than picking a West Coast team. That's what I would say.
Meantime, Jimmy Butler takes over for the Golden State Warriors in their win over the Toronto Raptors. With the Dubs holding on to a 3-point lead in the dying seconds of the game, Butler rejected Jamal Sheed's layup attempt. Jimmy Buckets was then able to retrieve the ball and eventually got fouled. Several clutch free throws later, Golden State managed to get the win 117-114. The Dubs overcame the absence of Steph Curry in the final 15 minutes. Curry fell badly on his tailbone after driving for a layup late in the 3rd quarter. The 2-time MVP did walk on his own to the locker room, ending his night with 17 points in 25 minutes of action. Butler finished with his 2nd triple-double in a Golden State uniform, notching 16 markers, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists. Draymond Green was the top scorer with 21 points, along with 7 boards, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Golden State remains 6th in the West with 41 wins and 29 losses, while Toronto is 11th in the East with a 24-46 win-loss record. Here's Green talking about keeping it together with their best player out.
He hit that ground hard. You can hear it. It's crazy. Obviously, a very scary moment for us, for him. Hopefully, he's good.
What was the key to closing it out?
We just had to get stops. We got a couple stops down the stretch that we needed to get. Jimmy Hughes blocked down the stretch. Pissed I didn't come up with that steal. But yeah, we just needed to get stops down the stretch. We did a great job of scoring all night. We scored 117 points. But we was able to get the stops we needed down the stretch. And the mentality is just, on Steph's side of the game, it is vitally important that we get stops. And so you just kind of, make that, emphasize that, and, guys stepped up to the challenge. The offense is never going to be as smooth when he's not out there. Jimmy's done a great job of last 2 games of just taking over the game and getting us great looks. But it looks different when Steph isn't out there. So got to make sure you pick it up on the defensive end, and I think we did a pretty good job of that. The margin for errors goes way down when he's not out there. We got to understand that and act accordingly.
Well, as for the Chicago Bulls, they claimed a comeback win over the Sacramento Kings thanks to a second-half explosion from Kobe White. The Bulls turned a 9-point halftime deficit into a 128-116 win, with White scoring 31 of his 35 points in the last 2 quarters as well. All in all, Chicago outscored Sacramento 73-52 in the second half. Kevin Huerter and Nikola Vucevic also had big games, dropping 25 and 24 markers respectively. Malik Monk tried to counter for Sacramento, dropping a team-high 34 points in a losing cause. DeMar DeRozan had 22 markers and breached 25,000 points for his career. The Kings are still 9th in the West with 35 wins and 34 losses. The Bulls, meantime, are in the same spot in the East, but with 30 victories and 40 setbacks.
Upset alert in the Eastern Conference as the Charlotte Hornets finally notch a win over the New York Knicks. With the 115-98 stunner, Buzz City not only avoided a season series sweep, but they also snapped a 6-game skid against the Knicks. The Hornets broke through by outscoring their opponents through all 4 quarters using a balanced attack. LaMelo Ball dropped a game-high 25 points to go with 8 assists. Mark Williams flexed his muscles in the paint, finishing with 19 markers, 14 boards, and 3 blocks. New York got a combined 49-point production from OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns in a losing cause. The Knicks are still 3rd in the East with 43 wins and 26 losses. The Hornets remain the 2nd worst team in the conference, despite improving their record to 18 victories and 51 defeats.
And last but definitely not the least, from the NBA, the Indiana Pacers surviving yet another thriller, this time against the Brooklyn Nets. The Pacers won in OT, 105-99. Indy trailed by 10 points at the half, but they managed to catch up. With that man, Benedict Mathurin, leading the way, with the Pacers down 91-88 with 14 seconds left in regulation. Mathurin got fouled from deep. He then made all 3 of his free throws to force the extra period. Mathurin stayed hot in OT with 6 of his game-high 28 points. But it was that man, Miles Turner, who sealed the win with a rejection on Keon Johnson's dunk attempt to prevent a second OT. Turner finished with 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 swats. Brooklyn leaned on D'Angelo Russell and Zaire Williams, who had 22 markers apiece in the loss. The Pacers tightened their hold at the number 4 spot in the East, having 40 wins and 29 losses. The Nets, meanwhile, sit at 13th place in the East with 23 victories and 37 defeats. At a post-game press con, Mathurin and Indiana head coach Rick Carlisle shared their thoughts after the grueling battle.
Mathurin was spectacular, especially in the 4th quarter. 28 points, 16 rebounds. I mean, the guy put a will on the game that was a big difference maker. We have a lot to consider before Saturday. There were a lot of things we did not do well that we're going to have to fix. We're talking to the officials too much. We did rebound well with these guys, which was a big challenge coming into the game. So hats off to them. Miles Turner was spectacular. The 22 points, the 10 boards, and the 5 blocks were absolutely difference-making in the game. And look, a lot of guys, when we lost Nembhard in overtime, McConnell came in and was tremendous. Made plays, made free throws. Was a leader out there. Really great stuff from him. And then Quentin Jackson in 4 minutes and 23 seconds, 4:23, came in the second quarter and gave us a burst when we were down 10, I think, and helped us chop half the lead off. So we're going to need everybody.
The Boston Celtics will soon be under new ownership. A group led by American businessman Bill Chisholm has agreed to buy the franchise from the Grausbeck family. The reported amount? Just a staggering $6.1 billion US dollars, or almost 350 billion pesos. What a bargain! Kidding aside, that's reportedly the largest sale ever recorded for a North American sports franchise. This would also shatter the NBA record of 4 billion USD when Matt Ishba paid for the Phoenix Suns in 2022. Chisholm is the co-founder of a California-based private equity firm. He is also a Massachusetts native and a Celtics lifer. Wick Grausbeck says he was asked by Chisholm to remain as team CEO and governor through the 2027-2028 season. The Grausbeck family previously bought the franchise for 360 million USD back in 2002. The Celtics are the defending NBA champions and are currently the second seed in the Eastern Conference. Up next, it's back to the hard court for TNT and Ginebra in Game 4 of the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals. An update from the match when play-by-play returns.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Play by Play only on One News. Time now for an update on Game 4 of the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals between the TNT Tropang Giga and Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. TNT leads the series 2-1. Justin Brownlee is playing for Ginebra. I repeat, JB is playing for Ginebra here in Game 4. The super import was a big question mark for tonight's matchup, though, after dislocating his right thumb in Game 3. Things went the way of Ginebra in the opening minutes. They jumped out to an early 7-point advantage, then weathered a TNT rally to finish the first period ahead, 31-21. In the second quarter, Brownlee and his teammates managed to protect their lead amid another TNT comeback attempt. At the half, Ginebra still up 53-49. Brownlee with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 6 of 7 from the field. Now, before Game 4 tipped off, the PBA recognized the top players of the conference. TNT's Ronde, Hollis, Jefferson once again edged out Brownlee to take home his 3rd best import honor. As for the best player of the conference, no surprise here. That award goes to that man, Arvin Tolentino of the Northport Batang Pierre. The versatile forward, former FEU Tamarao, led his team to the top of the standings in the eliminations, as well as their 3rd semifinals appearance in franchise history.
Moving on to volleyball, it's vindication for the Akari Chargers as they head to their 2nd straight PVL semifinals. The Chargers booked their return ticket after overcoming the Galleries Tower High-Risers in another 5-setter in Game 2 of their quarterfinal series. Gratzel Sotones and Faith Lisperos came alive in the 5th set. They finished with a combined 28 points in the win. It's an extra special victory for Nisperos, who missed out on Akari's finals run last reinforced conference due to her Alas Pilipinas stint. Now she looks forward to making her mark in the semis alongside Fifi Sharma, who is recovering after spraining her left ankle in last night's match.
We know our goal. We all know na what we want to achieve. Pero yung how do we achieve it, yun yung araw-araw namin pinagtatrabahuhan. And it keeps us keeps us focused on one game at a time until we reach that goal, diba? Like small step to the bigger goal. Well, the first thing I really said, wow, kasali na kami sa semis, yun nga. Sama na kami ni Fifi, and ayun nga, speaking of Fifi, I hope she gets well na makaabot siya sa semis. We both want to play for Akari this time with us naman sa semis. And very fulfilling kasi being at the sidelines last conference, syempre na-inspire din kami na one day sama kami dyan and na-achieve na namin. So, job's not finished naman. Tuloy pa din.
Ankle sprain po. She now able to walking. So like also, we just like, we know naman the safety. Like, it's not going to be like knee sprain. Not a knee sprain. So, or siya only ankle sprain. So, she don't need to go into the hospital. She just need to have a recover.
Meanwhile, it's heartbreak for the PLDT high-speed hitters, but Savi Davidson is focused on the future. Davidson left it all on the court, scoring a career-high 34 points against the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Despite her heroics, though, the high-speed hitters fell short in a thrilling 5-set battle, ending their All-Filipino Conference run in the quarterfinals. With PLDT's campaign now over, Davidson has set her sights on the 2025 ABC Women's Champions League. She and the high-speed hitters is one of 3 teams that will represent the country in the tournament. Davidson also remains optimistic, believing the lessons from this season will fuel their international campaign.
It helps because now we get to look forward to something else, I guess, maybe after a couple of days off. It's a very big tournament. It's international. It gives us the opportunity to show our talents on, a different kind of platform, and that's a really good experience to look forward to. So hopefully, we learn from this, and we show out come the ABC. The feeling, because it's heavy, you don't have many words to describe. I think it's also because the conference was so long, and it just boiled down to 2-3 points in the last 2 games. So that's something hard to swallow, but knowing that we're that close, knowing that we can compete, I think we gotta just bring that into the ABC, and hopefully it won't be as heart-wrenching, but it's always an opportunity to learn.
It's an exciting weekend in volleyball with the PVL quarterfinals, second round of UAAP volleyball, and the Spikers Turf semifinals all on tap.
That's right, and here is a look at the packed schedule, which includes 12 volleyball games. Let's start with the PVL as it heads to the Inares Center Antipolo tomorrow for two quarterfinal matchups. At 4 p.m., the Petrogas Angels look to keep their semis hopes alive as they battle the surging Zeus Coffee Thunderbells. Then at 6:30 p.m., the Creamline Cool Smashers go for the series sweep against the Cherry Tigo Crossovers. Moving on to the UAAP, where the second round of eliminations begins at the Mall of Asia Arena. Men's play starts at 10 a.m. with the Adamson Soaring Falcons taking on the UE Red Warriors. Then at 12 noon, it's a clash of the Katipunan rivals, the UP Fighting Maroons and the Ateneo Blue Eagles. In women's volleyball, the Adamson Lady Falcons look to get back on track against the UE Lady Warriors at 2 p.m. Then at 4 p.m., the UP Lady Maroons go head-to-head with the Ateneo Lady Eagles.
Let's go to Sunday. Still in the UAAP, here it is on your screens. Men's play starts at 9 a.m. with the defending champs, the NU Bulldogs, testing their mettle against the DLSU Green Spikers. Then at 11 a.m., the FEU Tamaraos put their unbeaten record on the line when they take on the UST Golden Spikers. For women's matches, the FEU Lady Times will face their rivals, the UST Golden Tigresses, at 1 in the afternoon. Then, a blockbuster showdown at 5 p.m. as the still unbeaten NU Lady Bulldogs go head-to-head with the DLSU Lady Spikers. And finally, the Spikers Turf Open Conference semifinals get underway Sunday at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig. At 3:30 p.m., the Crisscross King Crunchers meet the Savage Spin Doctors. And capping off the weekend, in volleyball, it's the VNS Griffins taking on the Signal HD Spikers at 6 p.m. And don't miss all the action live on One Sports, on One Sports Plus, and of course, the Pilipinas Live app. You can also catch the UAAP matches on the UAAP Varsity channel. Coming up here on Play-by-Play, a look into the early MVP frontrunners in the UAAP Season 87 men's and women's volleyball tournaments. That and more when Play-by-Play returns only here on One News.
Welcome back. You're watching Play-by-Play on One News. History for the International Olympic Committee. Zimbabwean swimming legend Kirsty Coventry has been elected as its new president. Coventry is the first woman and the first African to lead the organization. She secured 49 of the 97 possible votes in the first round of Thursday's General Assembly. At 41 years old, she is also the youngest IOC president since the organization's founding father, Pierre de Coubertin, who took over at age 33 in 1896. The IOC has also voted unanimously to officially include boxing in the Olympic Games Los Angeles 2028. This decision comes after the IOC recognized World Boxing as the sport's new governing body on Monday. The IOC stepped in to organize the boxing tournaments at the last two Olympics, following its split from the Russian-led International Boxing Association due to financial, governance, and ethical issues.
Happy Friday, sports fans. Well, before we head on to the weekend, how about we get some highlights for both the PBA and the NBA this Friday night? Let's start off. What a Game 4 battle between TNT and Ginebra. Reynam Batak gets a screen from Boy Eram, and then he finds Ronde. Difficult shot, a la Larry Bird behind the backboard. What a circus shot from RHJ, three-time best import in the PBA. Take a look at this. Very difficult shot. Somehow, some way, maintaining his balance. Take a look. It's so nice. We got to watch it thrice there. Woo! Over the backboard. RHJ, three-time best import. Congratulations to my boy Ronde. And the second half of the game just started. Ginebra still ahead here. Meanwhile, from the PBA, let's head on to the NBA Lakers Bucks in La La Land. Bronny looking like his father, LeBron. Good. Outlet pass to Markieff Morris. What a pass there from LeBron James Jr. to Markieff over Taurean Prince. And of course, the bench loving that. Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, all in casual clothes. Look at them. And look at Luka applauding the young James there with a good pass. Go-ahead pass to Markieff. And Bronny, by the way, had a career game for LA, 17 points, 5 assists, and a block. But with 6 rotation guys out, 4 starters out, Lakers get crushed by the Bucks. Giannis and company beating LA in LA 118-89. Up next, great game here. God, I got to watch a bit of this. Jamal Shee drives, denied by guess who? Jimmy Buckets. Clutch defensive play from Jimmy Butler, guarding a big man Pirtle, and then weak side defense. What a play there for Jimmy Buckets. And secures the ball back too, gives it to Buddy Hield, and basically sealing the deal and the win for Golden State. Bad news though, Steph Curry had to go out because of an injury, bad fall, but still GSW with the W. Solid defensive effort there. And, well, Miami needs that. One of, these past few days, these games, and I'm sure they missed Jimmy Butler. By the way, he finished with 16 points, 11 boards, 12 assists. What a triple-double. 2 steals, 2 blocks. Practically did it all for Golden State in San Francisco. Warriors hold on, 117-114. Beat the Raptors even without the chef, Steph Curry, in the fourth. From one clutch block to another. How about Miles Turner? Denying Keon Johnson there. Clean block. All ball. Good heads-up play from big Miles Turner in OT. Less than 30 seconds left. Take a look at this. It could have been a dunk, a poster in favor of Keon Johnson, but denied by Miles. What a play. Indiana eventually beats Brooklyn, needing only one OT here, 105-99. But, believe me or not, that wasn't Turner's best play of the night. Why? Roll the next clip. Here it is. Turner. Well, stolen away there by Ben Shepherd. And Turner turning a turnover into a poster. What a play over Claxton. What are you doing, Big Nick? Commits a turnover. Stolen away by Ben Shepherd. Off shovel pass to Miles Turner for the poster and the slam. Pacers big man had himself a big night here, finishing with 23 points on 8 of 11 shooting, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, and as we saw earlier, that was a crucial block, and then that poster from Miles. Check.
Thank you for the highlights. And before we go, let's take a look at the MVP leaders in UAAP volleyball just before the second round begins tomorrow. In the women's division, it's a tight battle for the top individual prize, but NU superstar Bella Belen remains on track to secure her third MVP title. Belen leads the statistical race with 159.6 statistical points. She's been crucial for the Lady Bulldogs, who are undefeated after 7 games this season. But right behind Belen is De La Salle's Shevana Laput with 157.692 statistical points. Rounding out the top 3 is Adamson's super rookie, Shaina Nitura, with 145.556 statistical points. In the men's division, Ateneo's Kennedy Batas leads the pack with 160.370 statistical points. Batas is the only player in the tournament who's in the top 5 in scoring, spiking, serving, and receiving. Second so far in the race is UST rookie JJ Macam with 148.750 SPs. FEU's Miko Espartero with 147.917 statistical points completes the top 3.
Interesting. Wow. The women's, you have an open spiker in Bella Belen. She's won it before against a middle blocker in Shevana Laput with the kill blocks with the points, but Bella doing it all, even the floor defense. Ken Batas is Batas. I was surprised that he was doing it all, even the floor.
All
he has
around.
great floor defense. We all know he's an open, he can score, he can spike, he can kill it. But I can't wait to find out what happens. We're still halfway through here in a UAAP. An exciting weekend, as we said earlier in the schedule. And that's all from us tonight and the whole week. But you can catch us again on Monday at 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV, Channel 8 on SD, and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
Happy weekend, folks. I'm Andre Felix.
I'm Cheska Carlisle. Thank you for watching. Good night.